love High Life. There's like a deep like pit in my soul that can only be filled with that specific shitty beer.
Taste of that beer, it's the fucking worst.
Oh, I think it tastes like pennies, but I kind of dig it. Like the metallic fucking just effervescence that it has. I'm totally on board.
More fucking power to. I will not be drinking High Life. You can have all of them.
Well, don't you have a shitty beer that reminds you of your youth?
PBR, but
That's not true. The only thing that you see, here's the thing. If you don't let other people ruin things for you, then they're not ruined.
no, the price of it skyrocketed in comparison to when I was buying it.
Oh my God. Okay, that's fair. Like when I first started drinking, when I would be like, okay, human being that's over 21, you're 21 years or older. Also, kids don't drink until you're of age. But if you like, when I was a degenerate as a youth, I would be like, oh, person, go get me beer, and I'd hand them like a 20. And they'd be like, what do you want me to get with this? I'm like, whatever is of around that price range. And 9 times out of 10, they'd bring back either Pabst Blue Ribbon or like Keystone Light.
Key Light. That
Oh my God.
brings back some college.
The power of Keystone Light. What we used to do is, because Keystone was dirt cheap, and then Vladimir Vodka.
Yeah.
We used to
touch that shit.
What we used to do is we used to make a nice little cocktail that we would face at the beginning of the night.
Dodo juice.
Well, what we would do is we would open up a Pabst Blue Ribbon or a Keystone Ice. 9 times out of 10 would be actually probably a Keystone Ice or Keystone Light. Keystone Ice is when we were feeling frisky. But it would be a Keystone Light, and you drink about like an ounce or so out of it, and then you top it off with a shot of Vlad, and then you would just neck that.
See, that sounds gross. What we used to do,
No, it was gross. It was called a Vladimir.
we took a case of Natty or 2 cases, 1 case of Natty to 1 bottle of Vlad, pour it in like a thing that has a spout,
Sure.
mix it up, and then you put,
The juice concentrates.
like the
Yes,
best
jungle
one was,
juice.
That's not jungle juice. Jungle juice has grape.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
Dodo juice.
It's the poor man's jungle juice.
Yeah, I guess so. But you put in like 2 packets of like the big packet strawberry lemonade,
Yes.
and it was actually fucking really good.
Oh yeah, that stuff will get you in trouble because the juice concentrate shit is like just sugar and flavoring, so it just cancels out the disgusting of everything else in it.
Yep.
And like it's so diluted that you can't actually taste the liquor, and then the beer has no flavor, so all you can taste is the fucking juice concentrate. Yeah, that's a recipe for a fucking mistake there, bud.
Yeah, you're just straight booze, but it tastes like you're drinking a mixture.
Yes. I can probably count on one hand how many times I've drank that and remembered what was going on. And I've definitely in like the double, possibly triple digits have drank that. So
Yeah. It's super cheap to make is the big thing.
let me reiterate, kids out there, do not binge drink. Do not drink before you are the age of 21, or if you're in another country, probably 18, because America sucks. Don't do the things that we did. Oh, God,
Learn
the good
from our
old days.
mistakes.
Please do, because we are the epitome of bad decisions.
Degeneracy.
What is up, you Scrappy Doo impersonators? Welcome back to another episode of the Fetch and Shock podcast. I am your host, Scooby-Doo himself, Tyler, and joining me as always is Shaggy, my loyal companion, Matt. Matt, what is going on, man?
Nothing, my man. Traveling the world.
Yeah, you're a real globetrotter, moving around. This is, okay, so you are in Maine right now, correct?
Correct, Mundo.
Portland, Maine.
By the time this comes out, I will probably
Yes.
be in the lovely city of Rochester.
Rochester, but for now, you are in Portland, Maine. Arguably the second best Portland in America.
Probably the only second Portland.
There's
That's
probably
not
like,
true. There's probably another Portland.
I'm saying there's
somewhere.
probably like a Portland fucking like North Dakota or something that has like a population of like 14 people.
Yeah, probably.
If you are from Portland, North Dakota, but shoot us a fucking text message or a DM on Twitter and let us know. If you know of another Portland in the world that could possibly compete with the second best Portland in America.
Yeah, if you want to take the title.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm going to give it to you. Because, like, I have known literally nothing about Portland, Maine, except for I'm assuming that it smells like fish, and there is probably an abundance of lobsters.
Doesn't smell like fish.
It
There are
doesn't.
fucking lobster everywhere. Lobsters?
Huh. I feel like every place in Maine would just perpetually smell like the ocean. But not like the ocean in a good way, like the ocean in like a we're
Just
harvesting
fish.
this for its resources.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's actually a lot more rural.
Oh, it's like a podunk area.
Yeah, there's a lot of fucking cabins.
Huh. Well, it shows how much I know about Portland, Maine.
Fucking nothing.
If you were from Maine, also not if you're just from Portland, but if you were from Maine, I'm interested to learn about your state because I just realized right now I know actual nothing about that state.
Yeah, jack shit apparently.
Well, it's essentially Canada, right?
Pretty much. Canada is above you, kind of to your west.
Yeah. So like if
And on your east is just fucking water.
if we sold Maine and just made it like part of like PEI, like Prince Edward Isle, because like those are pretty simple. Those are like close, right?
Yeah.
If we just sold Maine and made it part of PEI and just like went down to 49 states or like got someplace else and we're just like, well, we want to kind of stay at around 50 states. We don't want to go to 51. What's the state we can get rid of? Probably Maine. It's fine. It's essentially Canada.
Or just let Rhode Island by another.
But like I feel like
Rhode Island's.
no, but Rhode Island has a lot to offer.
What does Rhode Island have to offer?
Rhode Island, first of all, there's two things that Rhode Island has to offer, at least in my mind. One, you do not ever speak ill of the state that Ryan Pancoast is from. Ever.
Get a better state.
Ryan Pancoast is the single greatest artist in Magic the Gathering. So if he produces art from Rhode Island, there's got to be something in the water. And also friends of the podcast, the Mythic Legendaries podcast, they're from Rhode Island. Or at least one of them is from Rhode Island. No, I think they're both from Rhode Island. Yeah, sure. They're both from Rhode Island because they do it live. Yes, that's a fact. They're both from Rhode Island. So, like, there's two good things that are coming from Rhode Island.
All right, boys, move to a better state.
I mean...
Or prepare to get absorbed by a different state.
I'm in favor of getting rid of Maine before Rhode Island.
The fucking fetch and shock geography.
I may know less about geography than every other human being on the planet. Like, I'm pretty sure there's newborns that know more about geography than I do. I just do not give a single solitary fuck about the world and like how it's constructed. I know like places exist and different, there's borders and stuff, but like we're just going on just basic regions.
Yeah, I'm not very good.
I know there's
any better.
I know there's an East Coast and there's a West Coast, and then there's also states in the middle of America. Also there's islands, and those are Hawaii, and also somewhere up in Canada there's also a state, and that's Alaska. And then Canada exists, and it has not states but provinces, and they're like states but bigger. And then Mexico
a bunch
exists.
Of oversized Texas.
Yeah, big old boys is what the provinces are. Well, we met a Canadian last weekend.
That we did.
And he taught us a lot about his culture and about the things that occur in Canada.
The fucking Great White North.
The fucking Great White North with their Canadian money. That was such an insane evening. Like, even the parts that we recorded were nuts. But even outside of that, it was a fucking wild night.
Definitely very fun.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this right now and you haven't heard the end, like the last like probably 5 to 7 minutes of our last episode, go back and listen to that. And if you have listened to it already, go back and listen to it, because holy shit.
Yeah,
that was wild.
Definitely well, I guess very good and very surprising.
Yeah, there was a M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end of our last episode. Came out of the fucking
That's
blue.
a good way to put it.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan twist.
The Shyamalanian.
Well, we're working back because we were in Pittsburgh. We were in Pittsburgh for Eternal Weekend, and we're both kind of recovering from our Eternal Weekend hangovers at this point.
Wouldn't call it a hang. It actually.
Oh, nice. Well, I was like coming home on that Sunday night. First of all, came home on Sunday night. Actually, I went to the old lady's house on Sunday night and watched the Baltimore New England game, which Baltimore won, which I'm very excited about. Lost my voice watching that because I was screaming and yelling because fuck Tom Brady and let's go Lamar Jackson and let's go Baltimore, because Baltimore Ravens are the best team ever. But I lost my voice during that, and then went to bed, and then woke up, and then had to like live my life that day. And like the whole time, I'm just like, oh my god, what a long weekend. Like I felt like I was literally just dragging my ass on the ground. Like when a dog comes in from outside and he's like rubbing his ass on the carpet. That's what I felt like, but like the entire day.
Just your whole body.
Yeah, my whole entire body was a dog's ass rubbing on the carpet.
A fair way to put it.
Listen, I'm as far as a master of things, I am the master of analogies,
metaphors,
and transition. And you know what else I'm the master of?
I don't know.
I'm the master of plugs. Speaking of plugs, what do you know about flipsidegaming.com?
Absolutely nothing.
That's not true. You know a lot about Flipcom because it is the single best source on the whole entire planet in regards to Magic the Gathering sealed product, Magic the Gathering singles, Magic the Gathering supplies. And if you need any of that, like I'm sure you probably need sleeves for drafting, or you need that one last card to finish out that commander deck that you've been building, or
do they sell dice?
Hell yeah. You better bet they do.
Yeah. Some dice.
Yeah, go get like if you have Tarmogoyfs and you need to keep track of what the power and toughness is of them, they have those. Or maybe you just like, just go buy a box and go do like a draft with your friends. That's always fun.
Yeah, people.
Yeah, go do that. But if you want to do that, which you should, you can get 10% off your order. Yeah, an entire 10%. It's unbelievable, right? All you have to do is at checkout, use code FETCH, and you immediately get that 10%. You don't have to do anything else. You have to type 5 letters. That's it.
Something that you would normally be doing, buying card accessory, throw fucking some extra letters in there.
Yeah, all you have to do is type 5 letters and do something that you've already been doing, and you immediately get 10% off that. Like, we're giving you money at this point. You're welcome.
Friggin' idiots.
Yeah, so thank you to Flipside Gaming, and you're welcome to our listener. This is symbiotic. We're all just feeding off each other. But back to that smooth transition.
ELE. Everybody love everybody.
Oh my god, I love
Name
this new
movie.
positive Matt.
Name that movie.
Is that fucking The Love Guru?
No.
Fuck. I know that movie has a bunch of fucking dumb acronyms in it. I can't remember.
We're going to play a little at the start of our fucking episode.
Oh, jeez. I mean, this is like I said, this is the middle at this point, but I'm also stumped.
I will give you one of the people in it, and that is Will Ferrell.
Oh, I mean, Will Ferrell's only been in 100,000 movies.
They play basket.
Oh, is it fucking Semi-Pro?
It is Semi-Pro.
Yeah, that movie's really good. I knew it. Like, I knew I heard it from somewhere. But also, you giving me the hint of Will Ferrell it's again like bringing it down to a list of only like 50 some movies.
1,000, yeah.
Yeah, like that guy has been in fucking every. What if I'd just been like, Elf? Is it Elf?
That movie, the upcoming.
Semi-Pro or Elf?
No, Elf.
Oh my god! Right around like mid-November, Elf takes over cable television. Good thing I do not have fucking cable.
Yeah, it really is on every fucking all the time.
Like, I'm not saying anything against the movie Elf. It's just like I don't want to watch it more than once every like 3 years.
I watch it probably like.
See, I'm just not that into it.
It's like the Christmas Carol, bro. You have to watch it.
I don't have to do anything. I'm not going to conform to your social parameters of having to watch Elf every year.
All right, Kev, calm down.
Oh, that's great. I actually had somebody tell me when they listened to the podcast, they texted me and they said, "Hey, Kevin, when he talks about magic, he literally sounds like he's going through like mathematic computations."
Yeah, that's how his fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like Kevin is probably in the top three smartest people I've ever met in my entire life, and it's like insane to me. That's him.
He's actually probably the smartest person I've ever met.
See,
like actual intelligence wise.
Yeah, he's dumb smart. Like he has all of this fucking intellect, and he's just like, I'm just gonna live my life.
Yeah, that's what he wants to do. So more power to him.
Yeah, hell yeah, but just imagine, like,
he's just a happy dude.
If Kevin was like not the person that he is, and if he was just like somebody who like was born and wanted to be like a millionaire, he would be a millionaire at this point.
Yeah,
it's not close.
You hit the money on, or right on the fucking head there.
I hit the money on the head, bud.
Yeah, that's it. Words are hard.
I get it. Well, you know what's gonna fucking rally you up, bud? Talking about some Magic the Gathering cards.
It might.
Yeah. So, I mean, The only things that I really have really sparked my interest this coming week or this past week was today. Like both of the things that happened today in Magic got me really fired up, and for two completely opposite reasons. One got me super stoked and just really excited and wanting to buy cards and wanting to see what's going on, and the other one ground my fucking nose in the dirt. So let's talk about the happy one first. So these the mystery boosters. We talked about them a couple weeks ago. But yeah, they're these mystery boosters that the first time that they were released were actually today at Magic Fest Richmond. So they're these boosters that nobody knew anything about. They just knew that they existed, and the first time you were going to get to see them was a sealed event that occurred today. Everybody sat down today and got to do that mystery event, and it turns out these boosters are basically, I mean, the closest thing I could kind of place them to is their own concealed like chaos packs in a chaos format. So the boosters are comprised of 2 uncommons or commons of each color, 1 multicolor card, 1 artifact or land card, 1 card with an old border, and then 1 rare from M15 forward. So that could be like a master set that came out after M15, so like Modern Masters 15 or Modern Masters 17 or Modern Horizons or any of the actual standard printed sets from that point forward, and a play test card. And that's the thing that makes me very, very excited about this set.
That is for sure the coolest part of it all.
Oh, without a doubt. And the fact that Wizards did such a good job with the fact that we've had so many spoilers for sets before, or not even spoilers, leaks for previous sets where we knew like the rares for a set or we knew something was coming out. I mean, even to the extent of the new Theros set that's coming out later next year or early next year, like we know some of the cards. I haven't looked at them because I refuse to look at leaks, but there are people out there that know some cards from the next Theros set. And I hate that. So when something comes out that is 100% nobody knows anything about, and we get to learn about it in this really cool organic way, that gets me super fucking fired up. And when we learn about that new thing and that new thing is super cool, that even gets me more fired up. And they have these fucking playtest cards in it. So we get to see cards that Wizards has designed, but have either been too powerful or did not fit correctly in the scheme of the set to actually make it into the paper printing of the set. We get to see those designs and we get to actually play with those cards.
Yeah, that is fun spoiling those. Yes.
That's bonkers. Holy shit, is that cool? Fuck, man. I mean,
definitely.
I am like unrealistic.
They did fucking miss on a couple that would have been way too powerful.
Oh my god, there's some of these spoiler cards that are, or some of these playtest cards that are absolutely bonkers. I mean, some of them are just like, like sure this could have made in the set, but I understand why it didn't. But some of them are, oh boy, are they sick. And I think that's the real talking point of this release is these playtest cards. First of all,
I think they did that because they're like, look, fuckface, Oko's not too full. Look what we could have done.
Sure. I actually didn't think of that. That's actually a really good point.
I don't think that's what they did,
but it also is like the peel back the curtain to see what's going on behind the scenes kind of thing, where these were cards that they were thinking about. And for whatever reason they didn't make it, we get to see that process instead of just hearing about it and knowing that it exists in like this fantasy world where we actually don't get to interact with it. Now we actually get to see the products of that. And some of these cards, like you said, are absolutely bonkers. But I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Some of them are. My favorite one black.
Yes, 1 black. You lose the game at sorcery speed?
I believe so.
I think I remember seeing that. I don't have it up on my screen right now, but I do remember seeing that card.
There has to be ways to quote unquote fling that. I saw that. I was like, oh, that's why they didn't print that, because misdirection. Like, oh, that can target.
No, it doesn't target, but there's like commandeer, or there's like got to be something that says if you would lose the game, you do something else instead. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you right, dog.
There would definitely be something to abuse that. That is super sick. There's one that I saw that I was absolutely losing my mind for, because I wish this was a mechanic in Magic that I think would be, for one, super broken and way too good, but something that the fact that they were toying around with it really gives me faith. One, faith in Wizards that they are actually trying cool shit, and two, faith that, okay, there are some busted things that they're not willing to do. And the card is actually, it's called Generated Horizons. It is an enchantment for 2 and 2 green, so 4 mana, and it is an enchantment, and it says at the beginning of your upkeep, create a forest land token.
Yeah, it's kind of bonker.
Whoa.
Token
Holy
doublers.
shit. Like proliferate? Or like doubling season?
Yeah, that shit would get bonkers quick.
But like that is so cool. The fact that they're considering making like land token. That is such a cool design space that we've never seen before. That'd be so sick.
Actually, my favorite one, I think, they called it Wasteland. And it was like sacrifice something, destroy target, and then that, or destroying the land, destroy target or a land or something. I forget how it was. But then that person gets to put a waste into play. Like,
oh, yeah, I did see that.
It was basically a very calm down of
actual waste.
Yeah.
It was honestly like somewhere in between Wasteland and like Field of Ruin.
Something like that. Yeah, but they didn't get like a actual land.
No, they had to put it in from their hand.
Yeah, they only got a fucking token.
I guess it would be closer to like Ghost Quarter.
Yes.
It's similar to like a Ghost Quarter effect.
Yeah, where they just get like a fucking or waste token.
Yes.
Which doesn't really stop like their mana production, but it just cuts them from colors, which stops greedy mana bases. And I even think so.
It was non-basic from what I remember.
Yeah, it's like a shitty Wasteland, which honestly might just be better than Modern, or better for like Modern and format than Field of.
Yeah,
Field of Ruin.
You might be right.
Ridiculous in control deck.
Yeah, for sure it is. And the fact that you only get like a colorless land, that is something that is like your goal with that is honestly a lot of the time just taking them off of like their Basuva, or taking them off of their other land that does something important, or like their utility land, or taking them off of a specific color where they get that waste instead, which has no colorless or no color associated with it. That's an important ability.
Yeah.
There were a couple other ones that I saw that were pretty wild. I believe Justin Parnell opened up his sealed pool, and one of the cards was Smelt, Heard, Saw. So it is a 3-part modal spell, but the first spell was Smelt, and it was an instant speed spell. And it also had other spells tacked onto it, kind of like the adventure mechanic. So Smelt was an instant speed spell, but it had Heard attached to it, which was 5 and a green. Well, first of all, Smelt was 1 red, destroy target artifact, and that's at instant speed. But at sorcery speed, you could cast Heard, which is 5 and a green, and at sorcery speed, you could create 3 2/2 elk creatures, and it also had Saw for 1 and a black at sorcery speed. You could destroy target creature, and its controller created 1/2 red calf creature tokens.
Oh, 1/2 half. Yeah,
half
L
is what
F.
it is. Yep,
yeah.
Half. I think that is really cool design. And they're trying new things.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're like, hey, so it's fundamentally broken.
I know there was another one that we were talking about. Speaking of fundamentally broken, Unicycle.
Oh yeah, that thing would have been bananas.
We talked about this even before we even started recording for the night. Like, you just called me after I had texted you about this, and I said, holy shit, this is happening. Go check this out on the internet. Like, go look. And then you called me and you said, whoa, just looked at this stuff. Unicycle is fucking busted.
Yeah, just fucking bonkers. So was it 2 mana, 2 colorless mana, first strike, crew for 1?
Yes, it is so Unicycle is a 2 mana.
Hold on, and equipped. So it's an equipment vehicle.
It is an equipment vehicle that either you crew for 1 or you can equip for 1, and it is a 3/1 first strike haste, and it would give the creature that it's equipped to +3/+1 first strike haste, I would assume.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
Which
I
is
mean, that makes
ridiculous.
sense to me. If it just gave the creature, if it was just like 2 mana, equipped creature gets first strike haste, and then didn't give the 3/1 buff, that would be kind of suspect, and I don't think that would be very good. But in the way that we're kind of interpreting it, it is a equipment vehicle that if you equip it, it gives the +3/+1 and first strike and haste, which in the context that I feel like this card was designed, which would have been Kaladesh, that would have made this card absolutely fucking over the top disgusting good.
Yeah, you just win creature combat.
Yeah, and
Plus
that's kind
3
of the
first
cool little.
strike. I said +3 first strike.
Sure.
Basically going to be winning combat.
Yeah, like how can you lose with that? You only like you have to kill that creature that's attached to, because there's no way you're beating it in combat.
And off of having haste is also a little bit banana. And equipping
Yes.
for 1.
For sure.
I think equipping, vehicling, there's no difference if you're giving the creature haste.
Well, I think there is a difference though.
Well, there's obviously negligible. You're just tapping the creature to crew that up. You're moving into combat.
Sure. I mean,
some
maybe
of that stuff, but
maybe in the context of like this unicycle thing, maybe not. But in like the world where the equipment, the vehicle has flying, that is a different thing. Because if the equipment / vehicle gave the creature that you're equipping flying, that's huge. Because I can think of times in that format where I just needed to get in with Smuggler's Copter to draw my card. So I'm equipping with something with like 4 toughness. So I'm like not equipping, crewing. I'm like over accruing to get this thing in the air, where if I could just equip that and then just swing with the total power instead of the equip power, that would have been huge difference.
yeah, very big.
And like with that conversation, that's actually a kind of that was my next point, that this is a cool sub game that we get to play with these cards, where in what world, in what format were they designing these cards? Because all of these cards have been designed for some set in Magic's history, for at least as long as they've kept them around. So like obviously this unicycle one that we just talked about, that had to have been a card designed in like the Kaladesh set or the Kaladesh block, because that's the one with the vehicles and stuff. So you can look at these cards and think about, oh, well, this had to have been designed for this set because it has this ability, or it has like these color acquirements, because there's one like that's like Bolus surrounded. Let me find it, because the card is actually super sick.
The one that's choose one at random.
Yes, that's the one. I'll be able to find it easy because I know Hobbs tweeted it out.
Figure it
out. Okay, so the card in question is Seek Bolus's Counsel, which is a sorcery for Grixis, so 1 blue, 1 black, 1 red. And it's a sorcery that says choose one at random. The first one is you get an emblem with, at the beginning of your upkeep, pay a blue, a black, a red. If you don't, you lose the game. The next one is each player discards their hand. The next one is Planeswalk to Pool of Becoming, which is pretty much only pertaining to the Planes Chase style of Magic, which is super sick, but something that I'm not willing to get into right now because it's super complex. The next one is for each opponent, exile cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast those cards without paying their mana cost, which is nuts. There's more. Yeah, there's fucking. Of course, there's more because this card is nuts. The next one is destroy all creatures and non-bolus planeswalkers. And the last one is you get an emblem with you can cast non-land cards from your sideboard. What? Like, this card is absolutely fucking
wild,
out of control. But like, this card would have had to have been from either like an Amiket where Bolus was a theme, or like what's the one, the Planeswalker one. I'm drawing a blank right now. War of the Spark. We got there.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, like, where Bolus was a thing.
Yeah,
because they couldn't have thrown it in like the middle of Ixalan.
Set is what I was. I got you.
I mean, that could have been. You're right. That also could have been a thing. But like, this could have been Ixalan. This could have been a plane chase thing. This could have been any. But like, that's that cool little sub game that you can play. Where were they at in the headspace of we're designing this card when they decided, okay, this is either too strong or just doesn't fit or it's something else.
And honestly, some of them could be future-esque.
Oh, that's actually a really good point that I did not think of. Holy shit. Whoa, you just kind of blew the top off my fucking head right now. Whoa, you are so right. These could be like future sets that we are not thinking about, that these cards could have existed in, but they were just like, nope, we're cutting the fucking head off this Hydra right now. We cannot deal with this moving forward. Holy shit.
They could just see people's reactions, shit like that.
Wow. Yeah, I'm thinking in the past. You were thinking in the future with this. I love that. Good fucking brain on you, bud. Nice one.
Yeah, I do that from time to time.
I kind of love that. Holy shit. So what do you think? I mean, overall, what do you think of these cards?
Very neat. I don't think ridiculous, like to the point of mind-breaking.
Okay, maybe you're thinking of in the context of singular cards. What do you think of the idea of these cards existing?
Oh, pretty cool. I like how they're sending out something. I mean, they really have no value to pay, which is pretty much Magic in general.
Yeah,
people aren't going to be like chasing these cards.
No, I have a strong need for these. I want these cards so goddamn bad.
Well, yeah, for certain things, they'll be very important, like cubes, commander, shit like that. But
yeah, for sure.
Standard, modern, pioneer. These cards aren't legal, so it's kind of like the uncards. What's the other one? The unsets, like the collector's.
Yeah, I mean that is actually a really good comparison. I think they're very reminiscent of those like really limited exclusive sets that really only have their one niche thing. But with these, the difference is, to me, these are like a part of Magic's history where those just seem like cards. These seem like a little bit something more. I don't know if it's just like intrinsic or if it's actual like value. These seem like really cool things. And I spoke with you earlier about this, and this is something that I'm actually going to be considering pursuing. I have already expressed the interest in creating an uncube of cards from these like unsets. So silver border sets where it's kind of all wacky and goofy and shit like that. Which is, I had an experience with that this weekend that kind of solidified the fact that I wanted to do this. But these cards kind of slot so cool into that, where they're not cards that are legal in any other place besides where I'm cultivating them. And that is such a cool thought and design that I'm so fucking excited about.
Yeah, you were telling me about that before. It's definitely pretty neat.
So I'm like not maybe excited about specific cards here and there. Sure, there's some that are just absolutely busted, and there's some that are like mediocre. But the concept is more excited than the actual cards in practice, where I love that these cards exist. I love that this is something that they're doing. This is easily the craziest thing that has ever seen print in booster packs, without question, especially with cards that are in packs that are things that people could actually want to open. Like, there were people who were doing this that it casually in their packs were opening like Mana Crypts, which is like what, like $150 card at this point?
For like the cheapest version, yeah.
Yeah, for the Modern Masters or the Eternal Masters, which fits into this the time frame for the rares.
Yeah, that's true. You could get some like high-end chase cards, I guess.
Yeah, like you can get a Jace the Mind Sculptor because it exists in this format. So you could open value, but I am more interested in these playtest cards than literally anything else I could possibly open. So currently, these are just available at conventions, but from my understanding, from what Gavin Verhey was saying on Twitter and stuff, we will eventually get these in local game stores next year, March of next year.
Yeah, that's what you're saying, that they're going to do like these actual pack draft.
I cannot fucking wait. I will do this as long as it's like a reasonable price. I will burn so much money on this just for the experience alone, because that's going to be amazing to me.
That would be a bananas draft. It would basically.
Well, I mean, also just think of the people who are just like, if you can buy these as single packs, just buying packs of this and just throwing it in like a chaos draft. Like, you could buy a box of this and then do a chaos draft by itself. But even just having like a box of this just sitting around and then just like someday just like breaking it out, that's going to be such a legendary thing that you can do. It's like, oh my God, it's going to be essentially, it's like breaking a piece of Magic history off and just whenever you want.
Yeah, and just fucking playing that.
And it has more depth than just like me buying a pack of or a box of like Kaladesh or Shadows over Innistrad or Theros or something, and a couple years down the road being like, oh, you guys want to draft Theros? Everybody would be like, oh, I mean, I barely remember that set. Or some people would be like, I didn't even play when that set was. So like, we'll see what it's all about. This is something entirely different where it's a roll of the dice. There's the amount of random that comes with this concept that kind of elevates it above that of just opening a random box of Kaladesh or a random box of anything else, which is cool.
I think it would be a lot more fun than just opening some random box. You're getting...
without a doubt, because even before a draft of, we're keep on using the Kaladesh reference, but it could be anything. Before you open that box, you could legitimately go on a computer and look up the card list and see, oh, this card's in it, this card's in it, this card's in it. We're looking for this to draft for at least value, and we're looking for this to draft because of power. But with these mystery boxes, it's an actual mystery. It could be
you don't
anything.
Fucking know what you're...
There is something in, again, Gavin Verhey tweeted out, there is something between 1,000 and 2,000 cards, different cards in this set. That is an insane number. That's like 5 different sets combined.
Yeah, that's a shit ton.
Yeah, that's between like 4 and 6 different elite sets.
It's not like, oh, well, you're doing this and is one thing, or like just the numbers and shit like that.
Yeah.
You pretty much know what you're going to get, like X mythics per box, X mythics per case, or any of that sort of shit. It's just going to be...
It's all a roll of dice.
We know, fucking who knows?
Yeah, and we don't have any more information on the set. Apparently, more information should be coming out on Monday. We're going to get the full breakdown of what's going on, which I'm sure we're going to talk about next week. But for now, this is the coolest thing that's happened in Magic like all year. In a year that we've had so much wild shit, this, in my mind, is the coolest thing we've ever had.
Yeah,
I love it.
Definitely different. Something else to kind of look forward to.
Hell yeah. And I'm always looking forward to new Magic cards. I know we dealt with the spoiler season fatigue for a long time, but the fact that, again, how they released this set, there was no spoiler season. It was just kind of like, oh, here's this new thing. And I honestly really prefer it over the drawn out spoiler season that we've had for the 1,000 sets that we've had in the past 3 months. Just like, I don't know, it felt good. This was really cool.
Yeah, where everything is out.
Yeah. It was like the
way
slow trickle
before the set actually comes out.
Yeah, it was everybody like curveballed us for the entire sets leading up to this point. This was just a fast pitch right down the middle, and we just got to take a swing at it. And it just turns out that our swing connected, and I think we got a home run on our hands, which I love. All right, well, I mean, let's move on to something from this real incredible high that we're living right now. Let's move on to something that kind of brings me a little bit more down.
Knocks you down a fucking peg or two.
Oh my God. And talk about down. It's like, it's not even down. It's in like, oh, I'm just kind of slumped a little bit. It is a straight up, they lined up and like NFL punter style kicked me square in the goods. Not great.
Yeah, it doesn't really affect me all that much.
Oh, it hurts me bad, bud. It feels so bad.
So, for those who don't, the Star City Games Players Tour will no longer supporting Legacy.
Oh, say it ain't so.
Yeah, there will be no SC Legacy events.
Say it ain't so. SCG, why did you betray me like this? Top 10 anime betrayals, me and SCG. God damn it, you motherfucker.
Well, I think the big one is Pioneer.
It's 100%
They
Pioneer.
literally they don't have enough. They can't spread themselves too thin with 4 different formats.
I mean,
because they don't do limited stuff.
No, they don't.
They only do constructed. So you got standard, modern, legacy. During the Players' Championship or whatever, they did vintage and legacy. But now with Pioneer in the mix.
You mean modern legacy?
Modern legacy, sorry, yeah.
You're good.
But now they're going to Pioneer, modern, legacy. There's just not enough weekends where they actually do stuff to be able to have.
Sure, but
I think that was just the easiest one on the chopping block.
I mean, sure, they take out the oldest one and bring in the newest one. I get it.
Yeah, and the weird thing is they always got a lot of turnout with the legacy.
Yeah, legacy events, as far as the SCG tour is concerned, legacy events have always been really, really well attended. Because if there's anything about the legacy crowd that I know, those motherfuckers travel.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of the SCG Tour was where they got most of.
Yeah, that's one of the final frontiers of Legacy, which
Yeah,
at this point, Legacy is just like non-existent as far as the competitive scene is concerned. Like Legacy GPs are just not there. Now SCG Legacy events are not there. I mean, I feel bad for West Coast people because I mean they never had SCG events to begin with. I mean they did at one point, but yeah, they're never coming back because they're just on the East Coast. Like they're stationed out of the East Coast. It's just more cost effective for them to do everything on the East Coast. So I'm sorry for everybody on the West Coast that hope for this, but yeah, I mean, as a Legacy player at heart, or as a person who really loves Legacy, and beyond that, a person who really is not having any fun in Modern and has not been having fun in Modern for a long time, and a person who doesn't really enjoy Standard, and a person who is like kind of just waiting for Pioneer to really get me going. SCG took the fucking wind out of my sails really quick with this announcement.
How did I know you were going to wind out of your... I had a feeling.
I mean, that's just perfect. That's like the exact analogy, right?
Yeah, and it is funny because I told you that I was going to get into Legacy more.
We were just talking about it like earlier this week that we were just talking about you wanting to get into like Delver.
Yeah, fucking Delver Squeakerets and just smash face with some flyers.
With some 3-2s. But yeah, I mean, man, and even this, like, I mean, like you just said, you were considering getting into Legacy and you have the means to do so. Even for the people that don't have the means to do so. Yeah, but for the people who don't have the means to do so, or who are working towards the mean to do so, they just completely lost their reason for it. Unless they have a healthy legacy scene in their local area, there's no reason to get in Legacy at this point.
Not in paper, at least.
Well, I mean, not in paper, but also, like, why would you, if you're a person who's just like a grinder, like you're selling all your Legacy cards at this point.
Yeah, I think someone was tweeting about that, how a lot enter is he now because a lot of Legacy players are going to dump their Legacy.
No,
and I'm sure some people will, but for anyone who knows, they're stubborn as fuck.
Oh, we are a hard-headed group, and we support our fucking format. Yeah, Legacy players are exactly that. Legacy players. They're not Magic players in the traditional sense. They are people that love their format, that support their format. And now that we don't get that, it's not like we're dropping off the face of the planet. Like, I'm not going to stop giving a fuck about Legacy. I just have taken a huge blow to the fact that I'm not going to get that support at the high level of SCG.
I saw...
Oh, I'm traveling for that event.
Saying that he was contemplating doing Legacy events, like $60 a head, 175 cap.
I'm going to register for that event, and I'm going to travel for it, because that's going to be like my only time to play Legacy. Yeah, and I mean, and that's going to be the big community event at that point, which anything that Missouri, MTG, Jeremy runs is a fucking awesome tournament just in general, because he's a great TO. But now with this additional addition to the Legacy scene or not even addition, subtraction from the Legacy scene that SCG just gave us, that's even more of a reason to go to these events. Like these little local homegrown events are just that's going to become the heart and soul of it. And it's going to go towards the way of vintage events and the way of old school events where people are just doing their own thing. And you're just going to have to follow that a little bit closer, which is, I mean, it sucks. There's no two ways around it. It's not great.
Yeah, I think I get why they did it, why they chose that format. That is quote unquote popular format that did not ever have approach shit like that.
Yeah, sure.
So it makes sense. I get it.
I can look at it from the standpoint of they're a business and they're running their business in the way that Magic is going. Pioneer is going to be something that is going to be supported, that they need to move towards and actively pursue. I get that point. And they're making the correct business decision going that direction. But there's half Tyler as a understanding business aspect of it, and there's half Tyler as like a Legacy player aspect of it. And the Legacy Tyler is so bummed and so pissed and like wants to denounce SCG And then the business aspect of Tyler's just like, okay, I get it, and I understand where they're coming from, and I respect the direction that they're moving, but god damn, does that feel bad.
Yeah, like I'm in the same boat. I understand why, but at the same time,
Yeah, that's true. Like, just less ways to play Magic is never good, but they're going to get more people showing up for these things.
Yeah, like I'm sure someone will come out like a specifically Legacy Tour or Legacy tournaments once a month or something.
All right, so this is us announcing
times for the Fetch and Shock.
That's what I'm just saying. We're gonna do the Fetch and Shock Legacy Tour, and once a month we are going to hold a Legacy tournament in some random place at some random bar somewhere. And anybody who wants to play Legacy gets to show up, sling their spells, and have a good old time. And we're going to make a trophy. It's going to be a rotating trophy, kind of like our annual thing, where the winner shows up and they have to give away their trophy to the next winner.
That'd be hard with.
Nope. We'll make sure the random show up. The winner gets the trophy and something, and then also airfare to the next location. You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, the airfare is good, but like people have jobs.
No, fuck the fucking nerds who have jobs. They have to call off work. They have to do it. No options, or they have to mail us the trophy. One of the two.
Just you can't see them shaking.
Nope, that's what we're doing. Welcome to the world of Fetch and Shock Legacy players, where we are now the commissioners of your format.
It's my second least favorite. No, it's not my second least favorite. Like Legacy's fun. It's just I don't even want to stagnant. Just there's so many cards.
Oh, that is not true. That is the farthest thing from stagnant.
That's what I said. It's right now. It's getting
sure, but I mean, if Wizards pays attention, they can circumvent that. Okay, let me paint you a mental picture.
One of those. I could see Legacy becoming where Wizards has no control over, and it's kind of like
on player suggestion
for a long.
Okay, let me paint you a mental picture. You learn the ins and outs of Legacy to the point where I'm at. We hold the Fetch and Shock Legacy tour every month, and then you and I are the SCG style commentators for that, and neither of us play in the event. We do coverage. Like, I am the Pat Sullivan, you are the Cedric Phillips of the Fetch and Shock Legacy tour.
I'd rather play.
No, I think we would be good. I think we would be good color commentators for that.
It would have to be fucking rated R.
I mean, that's fine. That's the Legacy crowd anyway. What toddlers are fucking watching Legacy coverage anyway? Like, we're going to
kid named Austin something.
Oh, the 16-year-old or whatever he is.
Yeah, he was like 14, fucking crushing tournament.
Well, we'll have to get his parents to sign a waiver or something.
No, yeah. I would do that. I'm pretty sure I could.
No, we definitely. I mean, we did that whole entire episode except for when we got like sloshed or when I got sloshed at the end. You were pretty solid.
It would also be like stone cold.
Well, I mean, for the most part, stone cold sober. In between rounds when we were running ads because we're bringing so much money in that people are going to pay us to run ads, we'll just rip shots in between that. But besides that, we're totally kosher. Okay, so
money making team. There we go. We did
this. This is the official announcement of the Fetch and Shock Legacy Tour. Or let's call it the Fetch and Shock Eternal Tour.
The Eternal Tour.
Ooh. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Yeah.
No, you don't get to play in Vintage. You have to do the commentary.
Well, I'm not doing that.
You have to. I will give you one stop out of the year where you can play.
How about
and
all the vintage ones?
We'll audible into somebody else. How about 50% of the vintage ones you can play and 50% you have to do commentary? And then 50% of the legacy ones I can play in, and then 50% I have to commentary. How does that feel?
You can only play in 30% of the...
Well, then you can only play in 30% of the vintage ones.
Nope, it's the deal. It's called bargaining.
No. Well, okay, hold on. Are there going to be more legacy ones than vintage ones?
For sure there will.
Okay, then I'm cool with that. Because then mathematically we'll probably be doing the same amount of coverage / playing.
Do we want to talk about Magic instead of tournament organizing?
No, we're going to do tournament organizing. This is literally the Fetch and Shock tournament organizing podcast at this point.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, boy. Yeah, we're going to have to quit doing the podcast because we're going to be so swamped in TOing that we're just not going to have room to podcast. If you want to hear our content, it's going to be us doing commentary over top of Games of Legacy and Vintage. I am totally on board with that, actually. That sounds so sick.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be the VSL or the Legacy one, but just in person.
The LS.
The LSL. Yes. Oh my goodness. Did we just come up with the greatest fucking business plan ever?
It's not even a business. It's more just to give people.
And Vintage. Listen, we're doing the Eternal community a favor. It's the Fetch and Shock Eternal Tour.
I can dig it.
Yeah, FNSET?
Too many fucking acronyms already.
We'll let you go. Just do the ET.
I think we'd get sued by, who was it?
Wait, you mean the alien ET?
Yeah.
That'll be our thing. It's just ET with his fucking like light up finger touching a black lotus.
It'll be the Spanish E. So Y with a tilde.
Yes. Okay. Cool. I'm cool with Y tilde T. ET. And we're only gonna do it in South America.
Now you're just going bananas.
Listen, you put me off on that tangent.
Yeah.
No, we're doing okay. So coming 2021, the Fetch and Shock. If things don't correct themselves, we are going to force ourselves into the scenario where we do the Fetch and Shock Eternal Tour, and it is going to be the FNS Y with a tilde T.
Fair.
Oh, I love it.
2021.
2021. Mark your calendars, boys and girls. We are going to be doing that. January 17th is going to be our first tour date. It's probably like a Wednesday or something.
Probably a Wednesday. Most likely.
That's fine. The Vintage and Legacy people are going to travel for a Wednesday. They'll take time off work. You know what? I'm actually excited about this. We're doing this.
This is how the podcast.
I'm going to take a small loan out just to rent a convention center. We're going to do this. We're going to make our money back and then just circulate it back in. And we're not even going to make any money, but we'll at least make enough money to sustain. And sustaining, keeping on that fucking base level, that's all we're about.
You think, some quick math, $60 a head time a cap of one.
For players?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Our cap's going to be like 600. People are going to show up for this.
I'll do 150.
Okay.
That's 9,000. I don't know how much.
What about like our giveaway is going to be like a play mat or something, but it's going to be a white play mat with like a picture of like
a hand-drawn butterfly.
Oh my god, it's going to be a hand-drawn butterfly on each play mat. It's going to be a Monarch token butterfly
that you have to fucking draw.
I'll do everyone. It. Fuck it, I'm in. I'm committed to the bit. We're doing this 100%.
Start planning.
I already have. For 2021, I will rent out. Our first one's going to be in Pittsburgh. It's going to be very similar to Eternal Weekend, except for it's going to be better than Eternal Weekend because we're going to get it done.
Sounds good.
All right, dude. Well, now that we've planned our takeover of the Eternal formats, do you think we could probably move into our game for the evening?
I suppose so.
I'm asking you, right? I think that is correct. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Fetch and Shock podcast, we do a game every week. And that game is referred to as accumulated knowledge. So the way that this game works is we go to the Scryfall website and we click the random card button. When a random card pops up, one of us asks the other what the random card is. If they get it right, they get a point. And if they don't, they lose miserably and have to go home in shame. Matt has to get 4 out of 5 cards correct in order to win, and he gets 3 hints. And I will be the one asking Matt this week. Matt, are you ready?
I am ready.
This one is actually a real good one. This might be one of the few planeswalkers that we've had, actually.
You gave me a hint, dog.
I mean, that is a free hint. You know what? That's just because I like you. It is Nissa Genesis Mage.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Nissa Genesis Mage. I think the only other planeswalker we had was when you got me with Jace the Mind Sculptor.
So Nissas are fucking green. Let's start there.
Oh, wow. Really using your powers to deduction with that one. But
I think it's for sure green.
Yeah, I will. You know what? That's another free hint. I will tell you that it is green. Another hint.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, Chris Rawlis is the art, if that helps you at all.
That doesn't help me at all.
Yeah, I didn't think it would.
I don't know. It's not one of the lower green.
3 green. Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
A very respectable answer. Unfortunately, it is incorrect. It is 5 green.
Oh, Jesus. This is a real shitty one then.
I am pretty sure that this is, yes. I think that this is a, no, I don't know if this was in the set or if this was in the Planeswalker deck, but Nissa Genesis Mage is 5 green for a Nissa Planeswalker. She has a starting loyalty of 5. For +2, you can untap 2 target creatures and up to 2 target lands. For -3, target creature gets a +5/+5 until the end of turn. And then for -10, you can look at the top 10 cards of your library. You may put any number of creature or land cards from among them onto the battlefield. The rest of them go on the bottom of your library in a random order.
Yeah, I would have never got this one.
Yeah, that one's a very difficult one. This next one is actually one of the cards that I have actually played in a constructed deck. So that gives you a very strong chance of getting it.
Free hint.
It is Bygone Bishop.
Oh, I know. This is 2 and a white.
It is 2 and a white.
I only know this because we were talking about Builder Pioneer.
This is a card that I have definitely played in Spirits and Pioneer. I love Bygone Bishop.
It investigate.
It does have the ability to create some clue tokens. So Bygone Bishop is a, like Matt said, 2 and a white creature for a 2/3. It is a spirit cleric. It has flying, as most spirits do. And it says whenever you cast a creature spell with converted mana cost 3 or less, you investigate. So that means you put a clue artifact token on the battlefield with 2 mana, sacrifice it, and you draw a card.
Yeah, I forgot that it was a creature spell, but I knew it was flying spirit.
Oh my god, I am a big softie for Bygone Bishop. I love this card. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? How about Champion of Ronus? I think you're going to get this one immediately.
It's the green one, I'm pretty sure.
Ronus is the green god. I'm giving you free hints out the ass today.
No, this is an Amonkhet. Exerts, and it's like the Piper. I want to say 3 in a green or 4 in a green. I want to say I'm going to go with...
Is that your final answer?
Fuck. Yeah, 3 in a green.
3 and 1 green mana is correct.
Yeah, it Elvish Pipers. It exerts.
Yes, so Champion of Ronus is a creature, Jackal Warrior for a 3/3, for, like Matt said, 3 and a green, and you can exert it when it attacks, which means it stays tapped for 1 turn. And then if you do exert it, you may put a creature from your hand onto the battlefield.
Yeah, this thing was really good in limit.
Yeah, holy shit. Yep, that was a good one. Oh, here's another one. This is a good one, too. Deadlock Trap.
Deadlock, just an artifact.
Will this be a trap? It remains to be seen.
I know this is an artifact. I'm going to use one of my clues. Give me the text on.
Ooh, you would like the text, would ya? All right. This might help a bit. So, Deadlock Trap enters the battlefield tapped. Also, when Deadlock Trap enters the battlefield, you get 2 energy counter.
Stop. 3 colorless.
That is correct.
This what the fuck is that artifact? It taps shit down.
Yes, it does. So you can tap it and pay an energy, and you can tap. This is actually pretty interesting. You can tap target creature or planeswalker. Its activated abilities cannot be activated this turn.
I forgot about the planeswalker part.
Yeah, because when you tap it, you can't use the activated abilities with this guy. So yeah, this is a pretty cool card.
Icy Manipulator. There it is. I couldn't think.
Yeah, it's like a pseudo Icy Manipulator. Yeah. So are you ready for your last one?
I got 2 hints. If I missed it.
This is for all the marbles, bud. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It is Mesmeric Trance.
Mesmeric Trance.
Yeah. This is a weird one.
It's either blue or black. I'm guessing fucking blue.
Yes. I mean, it was probably, with the term Mesmeric in it, it is either, I would say, blue, black, or white.
It's not. I don't think I've ever seen a white card. Quit trying to throw me in.
I mean, there are definitely white cards with Mesmeric in it. Whether this one is one of them, that remains to be seen. But
the text.
Okay. So this card has cumulative upkeep 1. Yes. And it also has, for a blue mana, you can discard a card and then draw a card.
Blue.
The ability is blue. Yep. The ability is definitely blue. It's 1 blue mana, discard a card, draw a card. It's looting.
Give me the set.
Is that your second hint?
That's my third hint.
Or your third hint. Your second hint for this card, third hint for total. This is from the set that is notorious for being absolutely stupid. Ice Age. A little bit of piece of Magic trivia, too, for you. Magic overused can freeze the mind. Creativity is more important than power. Do you know who said that?
I have no idea.
That's Zur the Enchanter. You ever heard of Zur? He has something to do with something.
I have heard.
Zur's pretty good.
Fuck, man.
In a format.
I'm going to guess 2 and a blue.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Incredible that you got that close and didn't actually get it.
Oh, you fucking scumbag.
It is actually 1 blue.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever carded.
You know what? Reading the flavor text, I thought it was like a pseudo hint because it was from Zur and he deals with enchantments. But I also
figured it was an enchantment.
Yeah, just because of the text, you figured it was an enchantment. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is 1 blue.
Well, shit. I used all my hints. I still fuck.
Yeah, you are a real pile of garbage. If we're gonna be 100% honest, that was not your best showing. But you know what?
Definitely not my. I've gone 5-0.
I'm actually proud of what you accomplished.
Well,
wow.
I'm a salty.
Wow, dude. Wow. Pretty brutal. I'm not a big fan of that aggression that you're throwing towards me just because you didn't know what mesmeric trance's mana cost was. But due to that victory, I get the shout out. Yes, I do indeed. So I think for this shout out, I'm actually going to use one of the individuals that are on our team for the second round of the Content Creators Community Cup. So we have actually started our second round, which is I will go into detail about after the shout out. I will go in detail about what our deck building constraints are, but our shout out is actually MTG and me, which
Tell
is
me smidgen about them.
So it is a YouTube channel, and they're just based around random buys of Magic the Gathering cards, pack cracking, product openings, all of the things of that sort. Maybe some arena content, some things like that. Just general Magic content. They produce it, and it's great stuff. And they are part of our team, actually, for the second round. So shout out to MTG and me. Their Twitter is at MTG and me, if you could believe that. And on YouTube, they are also MTG and me. So pretty simple to figure out. You can go ahead and check them out. It's definitely worth it. A definitely nice enough human being. Can't really tell you anything negative about them because there is nothing negative. It's just all plus side at this point.
It's never a bad thing.
No, it is literally nothing bad. Nothing, 0% bad, which I am totally digging because there's plenty of things bad that you could say about us. So when you find somebody that you can't say anything bad about, I'm just like, I'm totally stricken by it. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
But yeah,
there you can say that about.
No, yeah, there's always something bad to say, especially us. But yeah, so like I said, they are a member of Team 2 for the Content Creator Community Cup. This time around, it is a lot different than the next round or than the previous round. Our previous round, and for those of you who don't know, the Content Creator Community Cup is something run by creators. It's just for Magic content creators to kind of pit up against each other. They battle on Magic Arena and to see who is the ultimate champ. Our team actually last round was the victors. So we are on the top of the pedestal at this point. So we need to retain our status as number one, because if we don't take this down, I have no hope, no faith for us at this point.
Way to be positive, bud.
Yeah, I mean, all of my confidence is based on us winning these games of Magic on Arena. That's it. But this round is actually the previous round was peasants, so it was only commons and uncommons, 60 card deck, and we ended up playing Persistent Practitioner Mill, and we went to a record of 8-4, which is pretty solid as far as I'm concerned. This time around, it is a 100-card deck, and we have to focus it around 2 tribes. So the tribes that our team selected were Elementals and Scouts. Which you think, oh, what's a Scout? You know what's a Scout, Matt?
Golos.
Golos, indeed. That motherfucker, for some reason, has the creature type Scout. So we're essentially playing a Elementals deck that is playing... It's a Brawl legality, or Historic legality. So it's basically anything that is legal on Arena. So we're playing all of the Elementals that matter, which there are actually surprisingly quite a few. Like Risen Reef is something that is really, really powerful. We have Muldrotha, who is incredibly powerful. We have Yorok, which is very powerful. And then Golos with a Field of the Dead combo. The card from Return to Ravnica that looks for a gate, because our mana base is predominantly gates. It's just basically a 4-color nonsense deck based around
I'm all about.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of our brand. Is we're gonna play something off the beaten path that is just stupid and bad, just trying to get us there on just grit alone. But I mean, there are some sweet cards in our deck. Like, we are playing 4 Growth Spirals. We are playing 4 like Leafkin Druids, which is the mana dude. Like I said, 4 Risen Wreaths. We are playing the Omnath, the Locus of Royals, which is an absolute house. We're playing a bunch of Planeswalkers, like almost every Chandra that's legal in this format. Nissa, who shakes the world. I said Muldrotha already. We are playing 1 Oko, because how could we not play the bane of every constructed format ever? And the whole point is just getting a bunch of Elementals out, triggering Risen Reef a bunch, and making a bunch of land drops to trigger Omnath. And then we are playing Path of Discovery, which lets you explore every time a creature comes in. So we're making Wild Growth Walkers that are huge, and making a bunch of zombies with Golos, because he's fetching Field of Ruins, and it's just a deck with a lot of shit going on, and we're just going to try to overwhelm our opponents with a bunch of triggers and abilities and things that they just cannot overcome. And that's our plan.
Seems like a good game plan.
Yeah, I'm totally down with this. I've been actually playtesting the deck a decent amount on Magic Arena in the past couple of days, because I have not been at work because I'm currently unemployed. But it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fucking fun.
Seems like tons of fun.
When I am currently in the middle of a move right now, which I'm actually doing tomorrow, so I need to get this edited before I pack up my computer and leave. But in the coming few days, I should have enough free time that I will get the first round's video completed. I've already started it, but because there are some different parts that I need to record in different places, I want the consistency of recording them all in one single place. So I'm waiting to record the actual face footage when I'm home. So that's going to get finished within the next probably before the next episode comes out, honestly.
Well, pitter patter.
Listen, life has come at me fast. I need at least a little bit of patience from you, and also the people who are listening, who have literally been hearing me talking about this for weeks at this point, but it's going to happen. It's just, there has been some occurrences in my life that have taken precedence over editing and recording video content.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it will be coming. I'm not going to say I'm the most poignant person on the planet, but I am a man of my word. So it's going to get done. All right, homeboy. Well, I think we said all there is to say about Magic the Gathering this week.
Yeah, I would like to.
I mean, and we are, as far as I'm concerned, the foremost authority on Magic the Gathering and the things that need to be said about it.
That's a bold claim.
I mean, who could possibly be above us?
Good amount of people.
Nope, 0%. Zero amount of people. We're number one, and that's how it is. And if anybody has any words to say about it, they can speak to our people, and they can maybe get in contact with us, and maybe we'll have them on the podcast for a little debate.
Our people.
We have people.
Sure.
Listen, we're a podcast that has had 3 guests up to the We're big time.
I don't know if that classifies.
I mean, I'm sure most of the people who we listen to knew of maybe one of them before they listened to us. So that's a pretty good ratio. I'll take 1 out of 3. That's passing.
33%, bruh.
Something like that.
But yeah,
all right, dude.
It's been fun.
Listen, by the next time we talk, we're gonna know more about these mystery boosters. We're gonna know more about our lives in general. We're gonna be so much more well equipped to speak on things next week.
Sounds good, dude.
So let's get after it. All right, dude.
Well, dude, you want to tell people where to find us?
Oh my God! See, that's
not gonna do.
You are so good at reminding me of that, and I'm so bad at remembering. So for anybody out there who wants to get in touch with us on Twitter, we are at Fetch and Shock. If you want to get in touch with me, Tyler, I am at Basic Landbin. And if you want to get in touch with Matt, he is at It's Bob. And also, as a reminder, if you want to buy any kind of Magic product, singles or sealed product, go to flipsidegaming.com. And if you use code FETCH at checkout, you will get 10% off of your order. So go get after it, ladies and gentlemen. Matt, I will talk to you next week, my dude.
Sounds good to me, man.
All right, brother. We will see you next week, nerds. Peace.